I'm sitting at my kitchen table, staring at a pile of dirty dishes that's been growing since yesterday. The kids are finally asleep, and the house is quiet except for the faint hum of the fridge. My name's Samantha, I'm 34, and I've been married to Andrew for 8 years. Lately, though, it feels like I'm carrying the weight of this family alone. My husband doesn't lift a finger to help with our 2 kids, but he's quick to complain when the house looks like a tornado hit it. It's exhausting, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm failing at everything. This is my story, how I got to this point, how I tried to fix it, and where I ended up. Andrew and I have 2 kids, Lily, who's 6, and Noah, who's 3. Lily's a ball of energy, always asking questions and leaving her toys everywhere. Noah's in that clingy toddler phase, where he cries if I'm out of sight for too long. I love them more than anything, but they're a handful. I work part-time as a receptionist at a dental office, which means I'm juggling my job, the kids, and the house. Andrew's a project manager at a construction firm. His job keeps him busy, or so he says, and he's usually home late. When he's here, he's either glued to his phone or pointing out what I haven't done, like the laundry piling up or the crumbs on the counter. Andrew's the kind of guy who's charming when he wants to be. He's got a quick smile and a way of making people feel like he's got everything under control. But at home, he's different. He expects things to just happen, dinner on the table, the kids bathed, the house spotless, without ever pitching in. If I ask for help, he'll say he's tired or that he'll do it later, but later never comes. It's been like this for years, but it's gotten worse since Noah was born. I used to think he'd step up once the kids were older, but I'm starting to realize that's not happening. The main problem is this: Andrew doesn't help with the kids, but he's got no problem telling me the house is a mess. It's like he thinks I'm supposed to magically keep everything perfect while chasing a toddler and getting Lily to school on time. Last week, he came home, looked at the living room, where Noah had dumped a box of cereal, and said, "Sam, what do you even do all day?" That stung. I wanted to scream that I'm doing everything, but I just bit my tongue and cleaned it up. I'm tired of those comments, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm not enough. But it's not just Andrew's lack of help that's weighing me down. There's another issue making things harder: my mother-in-law. She lives nearby and drops by unannounced all the time. She's sweet to the kids, but she's got this way of hinting that I'm not doing enough. She'll walk in, see toys on the floor, and say something like, "Oh, it's so hard to keep up, isn't it?" It sounds innocent, but it feels like a jab. Last month, she told Andrew he deserves a wife who can manage things better. I overheard her on the phone with him, and it took everything in me not to confront her. She doesn't see how hard I'm trying, and it makes me feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. Then there's my job. It's only 20 hours a week, but it's a constant juggle. My boss is nice enough, but she's strict about schedules. If I'm late because Noah had a meltdown or Lily forgot her lunch, I get that look, like I'm not reliable. I need the job for the extra money, but it's one more thing pulling me in a million directions. Sometimes I wonder if I should quit, but then we'd be tight on cash, and Andrew would probably complain about that too. I've tried talking to Andrew about how I feel. A few months ago, I sat him down after the kids were in bed. I told him I can't do it all alone, that I need him to step up with the kids or at least stop criticizing me. He listened, nodded, and said he'd try. For a couple of days, he did, picked up Lily from school once, put Noah to bed another night. But then it was back to normal. He'd come home, kick off his shoes, and ask what's for dinner while I'm scrubbing spaghetti sauce off the floor. It's like he thinks his job is done once he's home, and mine never ends. The breaking point came a few weeks ago. It was a Saturday, and I'd been up since 6 with the kids. Noah had a cold, so he was cranky and wouldn't nap. Lily kept asking to go to the park, but I couldn't manage it with Noah feeling lousy. Andrew was out with his buddy Brendan, watching a game at a bar. I texted him, asking if he could come home early to help. He replied, "Babe, I'll be back soon. Just handle it." By the time he strolled in at 7, the house was chaos, dishes in the sink, toys everywhere, and I was wiping snot off Noah's face while trying to get Lily to eat something other than cookies. Andrew took one look around and said, "Sam, this place is a disaster. Can't you keep it together for one day?" I lost it. I told him I'd been handling everything alone while he was out having fun, and he had no right to judge me. He got defensive, said he works hard all week and deserves a break. We went back and forth, and I ended up crying in the bathroom after the kids were asleep. I felt trapped, like no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. That night, I decided I couldn't keep going like this. I needed a plan, something to change the dynamic without blowing up our marriage. I love Andrew, and I want our family to work, but I deserve better than being the default parent and housekeeper. I started thinking about how to get through to him and deal with the other pressures, like my mother-in-law's comments and the stress from work. I started thinking about how things used to be with Andrew, back when we were dating. We'd spend weekends hiking or trying new restaurants, laughing over stupid jokes. He'd surprise me with coffee on mornings when I was stressed about college exams. That version of him feels so far away now, buried under years of routines and responsibilities. Sometimes I wonder if I've changed too. Maybe I'm not the fun, carefree Samantha he fell in love with. Those memories make it harder to stay mad at him, but they also remind me why I'm fighting for us to find a better balance. I don't want to lose that spark completely, and I think deep down, he doesn't either. Another layer to all this is my sister, who's been going through her own struggles. She's a few years older, with no kids, but her job as a nurse keeps her on edge. When I vented to her about Andrew, she shared how she's been feeling burned out too, like she's giving everything to her patients and coming home empty. Talking to her made me realize I'm not alone in feeling stretched thin, but it also added a new worry. How do I support her when I'm barely keeping my own head above water? Her advice was to be firm with Andrew, but I could tell she was holding back her own stress to listen to mine. First, I focused on Andrew. Yelling hadn't worked, and neither had calm talks. I needed him to see what I was dealing with. So, I came up with an idea. I'd give him a taste of my day. The next weekend, I told him I had to run errands and left him with the kids for 6 hours. I didn't go far, just to a coffee shop to read and breathe for a bit. When I got back, the house was a mess, Noah was screaming, and Lily was glued to the TV. Andrew looked frazzled. He didn't say much, but I could tell he got a glimpse of how hard it is. I didn't rub it in, I just asked how it went and let him stew. Next, I tackled the housework complaints. I made a list of everything I do daily: cooking, cleaning, laundry, school runs, bedtime routines, and stuck it on the fridge. I told Andrew I'd split the list with him, and he could pick his tasks. He grumbled but agreed to take on dishes and bedtime 3 nights a week. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. I also stopped picking up after him, like his socks on the floor or his coffee mugs. If he wanted a clean house, he'd have to contribute. Dealing with my mother-in-law was trickier. I didn't want to start drama, but I couldn't keep letting her comments slide. The next time she came over and made a remark about the clutter, I smiled and said, "It's tough with 2 kids and both of us working. Andrew's been helping out more, though." It was a subtle way to shift the narrative and hint that her son needed to step up too. She didn't say much after that, and I felt a small victory. Work was the hardest to balance. I talked to my boss about tweaking my hours to start later, giving me more time for morning chaos with the kids. She wasn't thrilled but agreed to a trial run. It helped, but I still felt stretched thin. That's when I reached out to my friend Maya. She's a single mom with a daughter Lily's age, and she's always been great at setting boundaries. Over coffee, I spilled everything: Andrew's complaints, my mother-in-law, the job stress. Maya listened and suggested I carve out time for myself, even if it's just an hour a week, to recharge. She also offered to watch the kids one evening so I could have a break. Maya's advice stuck with me. I started small, taking a walk after dinner or locking the bathroom door for a long shower. It wasn't much, but it made me feel human again. I also kept up the changes with Andrew. He wasn't perfect, but he started doing the dishes without me asking, and he took the kids to the park one Sunday so I could catch up on sleep. It felt like progress, even if it was slow. Looking back, I realize how much I'd been carrying alone. I was so focused on keeping everyone happy, Andrew, the kids, my boss, even my mother-in-law, that I forgot about myself. Making Andrew see my side wasn't easy, and it's still a work in progress. The house isn't spotless, but it's better, and Andrew's complaints have dialed back. My mother-in-law hasn't stopped her visits, but I'm learning to brush off her comments. Work's still a juggle, but I'm managing. Now, I'm in a better place than I was a few months ago. I feel stronger, like I've taken back some control. Andrew and I are talking more, not just about chores, but about us. It's not perfect, but it's a start. I've learned that I can't change him overnight, but I can change how I handle things. Setting boundaries, asking for help, and making time for myself have made a difference. I'm curious to hear what you think. Was there a better way to handle Andrew or my mother-in-law? Should I have pushed harder for changes at work, or maybe even quit? I feel good about where I'm at, but I wonder if I missed something. What would you have decided if you were me?
Thanks for watching. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and come back for more cool stuff.